was looking at Ryan's channel either this morning or yesterday. I see that Ryan's done a mission update on Mars 1 for September, I think it was. Not that there's anything on there really that is providing much of an update, because let's face it, there's nothing happening. Ryan does tell us that Mars 1 is producing, or has produced, a television set of television documentaries. Now it's on a pay channel, pay TV channel, and he said that this one is done with Mars 1. The previous one, Citizen Mars, was done independently. Now the one that was done independently, you don't have to pay to watch it. The one done by Mars 1, you do have to pay to watch it. Well, surprise, surprise. It's a bit like enter our competition. Buy the poster and enter our competition. Or, name that crater on Mars. What a bargain, eh? $5 for a little one, up to $5 grand for a big one. But of course, the names that you give these craters aren't going to be recognised by anybody. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here. But to be fair, Ryan does point out that we can sign up for this service and then watch the Mars 1 videos and then cancel, and it won't cost anything. So but what bothered me was that just by signing up for this TV channel, I might be considered an applicant. That's the big problem with that. But I might sign up and have a look at those videos. I might not. I'll have a look. If I do, I'll watch them and I'll comment on them. But the fact that you've got to pay to watch them, it's not terribly well. That's right. Yeah. You haven't got to pay to watch them. You've got to sign up for this pay television channel to watch them and then cancel. I don't know whether I like the idea of doing that or not, really. I certainly would pay to watch them. Anyway, it's about all there is to talk about, really, with regard to Mars 1's activity. I don't think they've done anything else. I was toying with the idea of doing one on the psychology, and I didn't know whether to make that a separate video or not, because Ryan was talking about that, left a post on my YouTube channel the other day about his interest in the psychology and his motivation for Mars 1, and I thought it was quite interesting. I thought what the impression I got was, it surprised me actually. I thought, okay, well, this is what I'm getting from this, and if it's correct, I'm surprised that Ryan actually wrote it. But what he said was that because his Mars 1 overlaps with interest that he's trying to promote, he's a part of Mars 1, sort of effectively. So basically, what he's saying is, Mars 1 is giving him a public platform. So that because he's involved with Mars 1, he's getting this TV time. Because he's getting TV time, he can interest people in space travel. So it may very well be that Ryan knows very well that this isn't real, but he's just using it as a means to an end to get himself on television. And I think he stands a pretty good chance of doing that. If you're watching this, Ryan, I think you stand a very good chance of doing that. I watch those programs by Brian Cox, and they're very interesting scientific programs. So stuff like that, I think Ryan will do very well. Oh, there's only one tip I'd give you, Ryan, and that is that I've noticed that when you look into the camera, you tend to do that or that. And it would probably look a lot better if you just look straight at it. I think that would then you'll be away. Your television career will be in the bag. And if there's anybody out there that thinks that I might be reasonably good at this and would like to give me a job, maybe paying me bundles of money just to look into a camera and chat, then just leave me a message. I'm open to offers. But the psychology, yeah, okay. So just getting back to the psychology. And I thought, well, I suspect that it may be that a few of these people know full well that it's not real, or know full well that they're not going to end up on Mars, but they're just milking it for a little bit of public interest, a little bit of 15 minutes of fame that Andy Warhol spoke of. Everyone would have 15 minutes of fame. I think that was an Andy Warhol quote, wasn't it? Rather than have to seriously think about going and doing this, because if you suspend disbelief and say, okay, let's say this is real, and just try and get your head in that space. You're in a tin box with 3 other people forever. It's not very easy to go outside. It's a whole rigmarole to go through to go outside. Your links to the earth are probably going to be, I don't know, 30% of the time, 30% of the day maybe, if you're lucky. For your YouTube and internet and that sort of stuff. And I think people out there that are applying for it, I think, don't grasp that well. You know, they don't grasp that they can't put their head in that space and imagine themselves in a tin box with 3 other people and YouTube and the internet, Facebook, for the rest of their lives. Because if they could, I don't think anybody would sign up for it. I was going to say anybody in their right mind, but there's not been any psychological testing. There's not been any criminal record testing. There's been the only testing so far has been a parrot-learned 10-minute interview. And I think it's interesting that Dr. Kraft has said, I don't know if I'm tangent going here, but I'll keep going. Dr. Kraft has said in the past that people with outdoorsy interests won't be considered. So if they like sailing and skiing and cycling and flying planes and driving cars and racing cars and kayaking and orienteering, well, maybe orienteering, maybe not so much, will not be suitable to be placed into a tin can for the rest of their lives. Yet, a lot of the people that he's selected to go through to this final 100 have listed precisely those interests. Swimming and skiing and sailing. So, if anyone out there interviews Dr. Kraft, I think it would be a very good question to ask him. If you've said people with these interests are not going to be going to Mars, why did you allow them to progress into the final 100? I think that would be a very good question. Personally, I don't think any psychological testing is required, because I think you would have to be absolutely nuts to even consider it. That's my opinion on it, my humble opinion. Actually, no, it isn't. You probably know me well enough to know that that's impossible. For me to have a humble opinion is out of the question. So that's what I think anyway. If someone seriously believed they were signing up to spend the rest of their life in a tin can, they have to be nuts. There'd be something wrong with them, for sure. Absolutely nuts. Anyway, I think that's the technical term I'm looking for, isn't it? The psychological technical term. Some sort of psychosis. Yeah, they'd have to be psychopaths, wouldn't they? Can you imagine that? 4 psychopaths in a tin can. Just add some cockroaches and lettuce and stir. What would happen? My goodness. Might be fun television, mightn't it, for about 3 days, and then that'd be that. The remaining cockroaches will be eating them. Alright, well, I think that's about it. If I think of anything else, I'll do another video. If anything happens, I'll do another video. If I see these programs that Mars One's made, and any comments spring to mind, I'll do a video. Maybe I'll catch you again.